Hi everyone. Well, here we go. 14 weeks on carnivore. I don't. Every week I say the same thing. I don't know where the time's gone. Well, we may as well just get into it.
Never gonna stop now, baby.
Well, yeah, it's been an educational week. I had a live this morning, and oh boy, that went so well. It went for 3 hours and 20 minutes, and I didn't notice the time at all. Just was not aware of it. I had so much fun. Oh. If you want to go and have a look at it, it's in my live tab. And I've actually, in a comment, I've done some timestamps to two particular things that I think I'm going to go back to for many years to come because they gave me such joy and such giggles. And honestly, I laughed and laughed and laughed at one of them to the point where I could hardly breathe. Honestly, I had so much fun. I'm so grateful to them for asking me along. Um, yeah, this week I've had a few things make me go, wait, what now? Um, Two things I'm going to leave for my video on Thursday or Wednesday night your time, the midweek video. But tonight or today, a little discovery about edema, swelling of the legs, and the pain that comes from that swelling. Um, I used to just blame my star sign because I'm a Sagittarius, and I always figured, yeah, well, a Sagittarius is half human and the bottom half's all horse, and so all thighs and bum, and it's like, yeah. Um, I was seriously considering getting a rebounder, as much as I would love one, but I just I can't see me jumping on one of those right now. Even if I could just, sit on the side of it and just bounce my legs, I think that's something I need to hold off on until I've lost just a little bit more. But I think we're at the point now where a vibration plate is in order. Um, I need it. I need it. So, uh, through the kindness of a few people on the live stream today, I got some donations that will go towards getting a really decent one. I'd love to be able to get the one that Bill Knott has got, but I've already looked into that, and they don't ship to anywhere except America and Canada. So that's me out of the picture for that one. Otherwise, I would have gone, hey guys, can I have one of yours? But unfortunately, no. I'm not planning on standing on this darn thing anytime soon. I found one that I can get here in Australia that has 180 kilo maximum. But since I'm going to be sitting here, I'm not going to be standing on it. Not yet. Um, the benefits of having it just sitting here. And I've even actually started sort of wobbling my legs a little bit up and down just to get things sort of moving until I do get it. Um, it's going to be very beneficial. And by all accounts, with comments that I've read from people on various videos on YouTube, I've seen that there are some massive, massive benefits to having it, to just getting the lymph nodes working again, getting it all sorted again, and and even yesterday when I did a little bit of bouncing here, just sitting down here, when I got up to go inside, my husband was sitting there. He went, because usually when I get up, it's like, oh, but I didn't groan. He said, what's going on? And so I told him. He said, oh, well, Um, the thing is, because I have this, well, because I'm on this journey now, I tend to sort of go and, okay, so I've got this. What caused it? Right? So, as is my want, I went to Dr. Berry's YouTube channel and typed in lipedema. And up came this video of the types of medications that can cause lipedema or edema, right? And it he was explaining it in the video, like briefly, but he kept on saying, I'll put more descriptions of the other things in the comments below. And so I went to the comments below, and really, when I read it, I was glad I was sitting down, because I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. It turns out that, well, one of the medications that I got rid of very early on was the Celebrex. I've been taking that for quite some time. That was on the list. In addition to diclofenac, ibuprofen, I would say that Voltaren would be in the same family as that, because that's a ibuprofen based. When I think of the years that I have been taking ibuprofen for pain, and you see, the thing is, I initially started taking things like Voltaren. It was starting to get expensive. So I went to diclofenac, which was just like the same thing, but slightly cheaper. And it got to the point where the chemist said, we cannot give you any more of these unless you get a prescription from the doctor. I'm like, okay, so off I go to the doctor. And it was then that he prescribed something a little bit, well, what I thought was more effective, which was the Celebrex. So I basically had to go to a doctor to get a prescription for something that does the same thing as diclofenac or Voltaren, just in order to appease the pharmacy and what they could or couldn't give any given person without a script or with a script. It sort of sent me into a bit of a tailspin, because I was thinking, what part of that was, okay, we need to get her on prescription medications to satisfy the pharmaceuticals of this world, so that, can you see where, can you understand where my mind went? And I sat here and I cried. I sat here and cried. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that, first of all, I was on those medications for so long. Um, and not once was and they knew why I was taking them. I told my doctor when he prescribed Celebrex, why do you need it? Because of the pain in my legs. It didn't even enter their minds to ask me, let's look at the legs to see what's going on. Perhaps then, if they had, they'd have noticed the edema, and you know what I mean? So I'm like, what the heck? So yeah, that sort of sent me into a little bit of a tailspin. And I sat here and cried that A, I was on these things for so long, and B, no doctor wanted to ask me, what's going on with your legs? Let's find out. Oh, you've got edema. But then, God knows what they would have put me on if they'd have found out that I had edema in my legs. Can you imagine what sort of drugs they might have put me on? Oi! So, it's like swings and slides. Don't know what to do. So, but can you understand how I must have felt? It was, oh my gosh. I felt gypped. I felt bamboozled. I felt hoodwinked. And it was a really good example of the lack of education with the doctors. I mean, but that would, surely that would be common sense, you know? If I'm asking for a medication because of the pain in my legs, not once has a doctor said, let's look at the legs, let's find out. Or even just looking at them and go, oh, you've got edema. Or there's nothing wrong, let's go and have a scan. There was nothing, absolutely nothing. They just handed out the Celebrex. Repeat prescriptions. So it's like, what? But thankfully, thankfully, I don't need a doctor for prescriptions anymore. And I'm really grateful that I had presence of mind to get rid of that. That was the first one I got rid of. And it makes sense because I remember seeing in the side effects, or the possible side effects, I saw fluid retention. And I went, heck no. And I threw them in the bin. And it didn't click. Fluid retention, edema. Mm, yeah, so it was an eye-opener to say the very least. So, yeah. In any case, we have a montage to look at. Yeah, there's been some losses. Pretty happy with it. Um, but I've reached the. Well, let's look at the montage first, shall we? Mm. 52 pounds gone bye-bye in 14 weeks. 14 weeks. I have not cheated. Not once. I can't do it. I just can't. As for cravings, the moment I've been sitting there, I've been making my coffee and I've looked over at the peanut butter jar and, oh, a teaspoon of that would be nice. And then the moment I'm easily distracted from it, my coffee will finish going through the DeLonghi thing and I'll be like, oh, it's gone. I don't even have the desire to stick my face in it to smell it. Had an interesting moment. My eldest son, he bought himself a bottle of Pepsi Max, and it wasn't chilled. That's fine. And I said, "Can I smell it?" He went, "No, I don't want you to smell it. I don't want you to fall off the wagon." I said, "It's not going to happen. I just want to smell it." And I smelt it, and I was actually shocked at the smell of the Pepsi Max. And my husband said, "What's the matter?" And I said, "Um, has it always smelt like this?" He went, "Yeah." I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, why? What are you smelling?" I said, "Nothing but chemical sweetness." That's all I could smell was that chemical smell. I'm like, my God, I used to drink tons of this stuff. So glad I don't anymore. I've got no desire. Got no desire to drink any of it. I can't. You see, I've been and spent a good 10 years in a really solid rock bottom, and I can't go back there. It's still there, going, "Hey, we have cookies." I'm like, that's nice. I just can't do it. If it means I've got to call a restaurant ahead of time to find out what they cook in and tell them what my dietary requirements are, I'm going to do it. Um, I cannot bring myself to second guess if I was going out regularly. I haven't got it in me to second guess what people are these restaurants are cooking things in without phoning up ahead of time and asking. Why take the risk? All it takes is a phone call. And if any given restaurant can't actually give you those assurances that they're not going to cook in seed oils, for instance, just don't go. I have no desire to go to anywhere that's not going to cook my food. If I'm going to pay them to cook my food, um, there has to be a point where you put your foot down and say, no, I'm not having it cooked in canola oil or soybean oil or any of those seed oils. I'm just not having it. It's a all in or not at all for me. For me, and everybody's different. Everybody's different. The rock bottom was too solid for me to go back there. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. It just makes me heavy inside thinking about where I was. You know, it's good that people can fall off slightly and pick themselves up, but why do it in the first place? Just don't. I don't know. Like I said, everybody's different. I don't know. Maybe it's just the mindset that I have. I have no idea. But when I think of eating anything that's not meat, I immediately go to that place of where I was, and I just can't go back there. And if you've spent as long as I have in that place, you wouldn't either. It's just dark and dank. It's soulless. It's forgiving. That pit forgives you for everything because it just wants you down there, letting your insecurities get the better of you and just letting you just drag you under. I can't do it anymore. I can't play that particular game anymore. Um, so here I am, quite possibly a carnivore for life, because if I'm too scared to eat things that are going to cause inflammation, I'll take it as a win. I'll take it as a win. If it means that I'm not going out to restaurants, fine dining, and they can't cook for me the way that I need, so be it. I eat at home. I cook a steak. It's simple as that. I'm just not going. Or I'll take my own bacon bits and they can bite me. Well, I'm here as a token. You can't cook for me the way I need. I've brought my own food to munch on. You lose. And I win. And that, I'm not interested in setting myself up for failure anymore, because I've done that all my life. All my freaking life. I've always sabotaged myself. I've shot myself in my own foot. I've cut my nose off to spite my face. Everything. I've done all of that. I've sat here and made excuses for it. I can't do that anymore. I just haven't got it in me. I haven't got it in me. It's too exhausting. It's exhausting. You know, wrestling with those just shut them out. I have to shut them out. It's like, don't engage. I'm not engaging. No, I can't do it anymore. I'm not living my life the way the demons of the pit would like me to. That's not the sort of life I want. The stakes are higher. We only get one shot at this thing called life. One shot, just the one. So you may as well just make a really good go of it. And if you are young, I mean, it's never too late. Obviously, it's never too late. But if you're young and you're big like me, carrying a whole load of weight, do it now. Do it now. Because when you get older, it could well get a lot harder to lose it. Do it now while you're young. Because, when you're young, there are certain things you can do that at my age I probably won't be able to, but it'll still be a much better life than what I'm having now. You know, a lot of people have said, oh, carnivore's too restrictive. And, I'm taking a leaf out of Limitless Lindy's book here. The restrictive part is me living like this, not being able to move around as freely as I like, not being able to go out and just get in the car and drive whenever I want with no pain. That's restrictive. That's restrictive. If you're sitting on the couch watching this video, whipping your bemoaned state because you've got a lot of weight to lose, and you're wondering where the heck to start, just start with one steak. Start with one steak. Try and sort yourself out now. Don't don't leave it until it's my age, until you're my age, because there is that little tiny part of you that's going to think, oh, it's too late. But I know it's never too late. But please, I beg you, do something about it now, okay? If anybody needs any help, I'm only 14 weeks into this. If anybody needs any help, just reach out. Please, just don't think that you have to be alone. You don't have to be alone in this. It is one heck of a ride. Somebody said this to me in the first week. Welcome to the ride of your life. They were not kidding. It is going to test your mettle, and it's going to show you what you're really made of. If you need any help, please reach out or comment below. If it's really heavy duty medical, I'll probably point you in the direction of the channels, the doctor channels that I go to. But please don't think that you have to be alone in this, because you don't. And nobody should have to do this alone. No one should, because it encompasses so many different things that you have to change. It's not just about the weight. It's this. And even when you get this right, you've got to get your head around things like, what am I going to look like? And that's a big one. That's a big one. Please, if you need help, reach out. The carnivore community is here for you. Just like all of you guys are here for me. I think that's all for this week. Please know that I love you all very, very much. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I wish I could have you all over, all 1,600 of you, all over here at my place. Have a great big steak barbecue. But a lot of you are in the United States, so I love and appreciate every single one of you. I'd like you to be kind to those around you. Don't take any crap. Protect your peace. And be kind to yourself. Bye for now.